So basically, like, if they have their baby, they can neglect them for 7 days, and if the baby dies, then they can't be held criminally liable. What do you think?
Yeah, I think whatever like helps women and helps them achieve their like dreams and however that needs to like happen is definitely acts to help that is helping all of us.
So I prefer that most women make their decisions at 8 weeks, but I'm also in support of 10 months out of the womb.
So you think babies should be aborted 10 months after they're born?
If the mother wants to, yes.
I think fuck them kids. So if like you want to get a late term abortion, like that's up to you. You know, I've had an abortion too, and it was my choice, and I'm happy I had that choice.
I've had an abortion myself.
Would you guys get an abortion again?
Yes,
100%.
100 times. I'd do it multiple times.
Until I feel that I'm ready to parent, that's a choice I'll continue to make.
Yes!
Yes.
Who would even say that? Somebody that actually doesn't consider the heartbeat that they can hear there, that isn't a live baby. Abortion should be illegal by the way people are pushing this. Look man, the amount of babies that have been killed over the last few years or even in a year is worse than the amount of Jews that died under a Holocaust. So the worst Holocaust right now is abortion. I'm not even joking. Oh, they're killing so many babies, bruh.
To do. They're trying to extend abortion rights past birth. They're trying to legalize infanticide by adding a term into the long list of things like stillborn, miscarriage, abortion. They add in the word perinatal, and that is an already defined term. It means from point of birth to at least a month later, and that's where the trouble is with this bill. History of infanticide. California will make itself famous for actually legalizing infanticide if it passes AB 2223.
So from a legal perspective, when someone hears that phrase that you mentioned they're trying to insert, the perinatal death, what's the big deal about that? Why is that so deeply concerning and problematic? What does that mean?
Well, because it's not a really common term, and it's kind of medical, right? And it sounds very doctory, right? Perinatal, what does that mean? Kind of like half natal? What does that mean? So people don't really know what it means, and it is already defined in law. You can look it up at the CDC. There's lots of different definitions for it, but it's the period after birth. It's postpartum. It's also, I think, a way of covering the pregnancy outcome. That's a word that Buffy Wicks has in that bill, that we don't want to criminalize women for their pregnancy outcome. Well, look, we already have Penal Code Section 187, which is actually it dictates what murder is, and it exempts women who are pursuing an abortion and anyone who helps them with an abortion. So perinatal doesn't include abortion. Right? So what she's doing is she's saying, Buffy Wicks, is that by adding perinatal, we're just trying to protect women who have a pregnancy outcome, like a loss. She's playing on our hearts and saying, isn't it tragic that a woman could lose her pregnancy and then be prosecuted? Well, that's not quite actually what the bill says. It says anyone. Let me back up. AB 2223, as it is written right now today, it actually changes the health care code, the health and safety codes, about 7 different sections, that has to do with what a coroner is allowed to investigate. And that's the key, because it exempts, it prevents the coroner from investigating a baby who's died, right? A perinatal death. That's because perinatal's in there, so he's not allowed to investigate that. And it also says you can't use the coroner's investigation of a perinatal death or an abortion or a stillborn, right? You can't use any of that investigation to bring a criminal or civil action. But it applies to anyone who helps with a perinatal death. Now, if they were really concerned just about protecting grieving mothers who've lost their babies, or grieving, people who've had an abortion and they wanted it, they wouldn't need the term perinatal, because perinatal is a born alive baby. It is the time after birth. That's what it means. And by insisting on keeping that in the bill, Buffy Wicks is insisting on infanticide. She wants to protect women from being prosecuted, and anyone else, read the section, anyone who participates in a fetal death or a perinatal death after birth.
Now, To be specific, it's not that you can kill your baby. All they're saying is within day 0 till 7, if the baby is killed, you're just not allowed to investigate it. I have to laugh. I'll shut my mouth before I say something stupid. But I have to laugh because that... I don't know. What's happening to our planet?